And this is actually it's a good session if you're not very interested in all these, looks lah, etiquette lah, and all that. You can fall asleep. It's okay, I won't get offended. I was a teacher for about 17 years, and we get all sorts of kids in class. So it's all right. Yeah, I've seen all sorts of students. But what I would like to do is to invite those of you who are seated at the back, if you are comfortable, to actually come up to the front, because this whole thing about what we're going to share today is very light-hearted. It's a very relaxed kind of topic. And to be really frank with you, I see all these black tables and they really create a bit of distance. But are you okay where you are? Really? Yeah. Move to the front or not? Or you can even move some chairs up here to sit if you like. But no compulsion, okay? Right, I just like to introduce myself a little bit before I proceed right into the topic. My name is Pauline. My husband is at the back there, Leslie. Yeah, we're here to take part in today's session. We were very blessed by Dr. Tan's previous invitations of speakers who came from RZIM, and also Pastor Siu Min's emotional and spiritual and physical healing seminars. Those two were really fantastic platforms for me to learn. And I am also really grateful to Dr. Tan for giving me this opportunity to be here. I don't know, well, at this moment, I'm really grateful to be here. I hope that at the end of it, that you'll be very grateful that I've been here, So anyway, what you see up here, I thought I'll just put this up in case anyone was interested while we're, getting ready. You might want to take a picture of this in case any one of you are interested in finding out more about styles, about image, and the tips and the tricks and all that. So these are some very good websites and quizzes that you can take, okay? 2-something in the morning, I got some things in my head. I couldn't go to sleep. So I just want to say something about image. Image building or grooming is certainly no rocket science. In fact, anyone can learn it, okay? You don't have to go 6 years for medical school and blah, 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 so many other things and so much time spent. This is not like that at all, okay? The tips and tricks are there, but the variables are many, and deeply tied to this is an emotional response towards imperfections that we all have. So it doesn't matter what, I look at somebody and say, wow, she's just got the perfect face or hairstyle or figure. But if you talk to that person, him or her, there will be something that the person is not really fully happy about himself, and you wonder why. Okay, actually there's no wonder why. It's because sometimes we don't actually see ourselves fully from God's perspective. So unless you know who you are in Christ and embrace it the way we should, we will continue to struggle with self-image. And so it doesn't matter what clothes that you wear or how many Birkin bags that you have. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Okay. The confidence and the happiness that you derive from being well-groomed is really fleeting. So before long, you're unhappy with something else about your body or your accessories. So I just want to start off by saying that today I'm happy to be sharing in a Christian Congress, because we're here, we know that our image, our looks, how we present ourselves physically is not the entirety of who we are, but at the same time, we want to draw a balance between what we present ourselves to be to the outside world, at the same time, and also who we are in God, and we want to be confident and proud of that. Okay. Yeah. So just a little introduction about myself. I'm an English teacher. I taught for about 17 years in a private school here because I was Australian trained, so I wasn't able to go into no SPM result, so I couldn't go into the government service. So anyway, at the end of 17 years of pretty, I would say, a little bit of a stifling kind of management situation, I wanted the opportunity to leave. So I left it. I found, the option was to go and learn a 3-month personal beauty course on makeup because I loved makeup, you see. At the time, I was over 70 kilograms in weight. And so, you know, the idea about making yourself really beautiful and all that comes to mind. So I wanted to learn, so just 3 months lah, okay, easy 3 months. After 3 months, it extended to 2 years, where I decided to pick up and continue on to finish my diploma. And by then, I was already 40 years old. So my friend, my principal, told me, why don't you consider looking into, you know, things like grooming and all that, because, well, that's kind of like related. And then also at 40 years old, you find it very difficult to be doing massages and all these sort of things. So I decided to go into this, and I am not exactly what you call one of those people who have got very high qualifications in this area, but I am a certified personal color analyst. I've spent probably about 1,000 hours crawling the internet for information about image grooming, and I think my number of books of the grooming stuff is about this much. So I come to you today to share what I gleaned, and they're not all correct. There may not be something that goes with you, but images like that, because we want to be comfortable in our own shoes. We want to be able to say, I know the rules, this, but I feel like breaking them today. Okay? So, okay, Dr. Tan was telling me that she would like us to do something about dining etiquette. And just now sitting at the table with her, she's going, oh gosh, I'm so nervous just sitting here. Actually, she doesn't know that I'm not really that good at it either. But, again, everything is on the internet. Wonderful. So, so I'm going to share with you what I found out about it, and I think that is something we can all learn together. Are you still awake? Yeah? Okay, sorry, I know I keep on talking, right? I keep hearing my own voice. Okay, right. So what we're going to do for the beginning part, we're going to talk about dining etiquette, which is actually manners, behavior, and all that around food. We all love food, and we can become a little bit wild. Okay, almost in the Chinese they say 狼狈, you know, when you come to the food table, it's like, oh, wow, salmon, oysters, and okay, right? So what are some dining etiquettes? Today I specifically want to concentrate on Western dining etiquette and a little bit about buffet at the request of Dr. Tan. Okay, normally when we talk about Western dining etiquette, Western dining setting, if you were to be in Australia or the Western country, you'll probably see something like that, a long table, right? Okay, right. So either you are served by a server, somebody who brings the food to you, or you have got maybe dishes of food placed in the middle of the long table, and you know, you could be eating something here, but you would like to eat something over there, that kind of thing, okay? So that's the Western long table setting. So when you come to a dining table, this might be what you see in a rather formal kind of Western setting. Has any one of you encountered something like that? Yes. Yes? Do you know what to do? Pretty much just go, wow, this one's so easy. Feel like using small fork, take a small fork lah. I feel like using the other one, take so many to find. Okay? So, okay, generally we have something like this, and actually in Malaysia, this is probably what we get, okay? Right, that looks more familiar. In fact, minus the top two there, huh? And sometimes this. And in fact, here we don't normally see the two little spoons and little fork up there. Okay, so what we want to talk about is what do we do with all these utensils, cutlery and crockery on the table? Okay, now normally when we come to a setting, okay, but we'll just start from here. Okay, to make it less of a mystery, Okay, you notice all the various cutlery. Okay, there's forks on the left, the three of them, and I don't know why they don't want to arrange them according to size. Do you get the feeling? Or is it just me? Okay, you notice how the forks have got different sizes there. Okay, hold on. Let me get this. You can tell my age when you see that I have to do this to find the right. Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. Then I'll just use this one. Yeah, I'll just point here. So do you notice that there are three forks here, and they are all, positioned in such a way that they're not according to size, and they're also slightly different in shape. And then over on this side here, you've got your four different, your spoon and all that. Okay, so it's clear here, it's been labeled, so good, right? First one is the soup spoon, okay, all right? And then you have got the salad knife or the fish knife, okay? And then the main knife that is actually right towards the plate. So basically what happens with a Western set is that the cutlery, the order of with which you use your cutlery comes from the outside in. Understand? Yeah. Okay, all right? So you don't just go, okay, I feel like using a fork, and you just pick any one that you like. You actually start from the outer side of either left or right. Okay? So generally in a Western meal, either the soup or maybe the salad or appetizer will come first. So the soup comes first, so naturally you take the soup spoon, right? Okay, so the soup spoon, as you can see, is on the far right. So that's the first one that you pick. So if you feel that you want to use a dessert spoon, you can't do that, because firstly it's too small, and it's also inappropriate for that, etiquette-wise, right? So now what happens when we have a bowl of soup that's placed in front of you? All right, let me just do a little demo here. So assuming I don't have a soup bowl here, assuming that this is a soup bowl and then I have a soup spoon. So the correct way, normally they've got two ears, by the way, right? Okay, the ones that we see got two ears. Some of the more high-class ones, they've actually got them rounded like this. Okay, the correct way is actually to scoop your soup outward. Okay, right? So you do this. Outward into your mouth. Outward into your mouth. I know, it just defies Chinese logic. So, okay, outward into your mouth. And no slurping. No such thing at all. And so what happens is that, you just keep on doing this, and yeah. And at the end of it, yummy soup like clam chowder and all that. So what you actually would like to do is to finish the last drop. No. So what we do actually is you tilt the bowl. Okay, this is really not a good bowl, but you tilt the bowl and you scoop it this way, and of course put the bowl back, and then you finish it off. And never put the entire spoon into your mouth, please. Okay. Yeah. So you really just the spoon. No licking of spoon. No licking of spoons and no licking of forks. Okay? Alright, we'll come to that later. So, but you get what I'm saying now? So remember, it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this. Okay? To finish off. Alright?
Does it apply to Chinese soup though? Is Chinese soup?
No. Chinese soup, just do what we like. Just like the table we were at just now, we were just laughing a lot and having a great time, because ultimately I think the only time you probably want to employ this is when you feel like you really want to make sure you are doing the right thing. But probably everyone is hoping that, they just do what they like. But anyway, so that's for you to know. You just observe. Okay, you just observe. I suppose one thing to note though, when you are invited to an event like this, so you have this long table, and sometimes you have the host is seated at the end of one table, it's like the president and this, okay?
So when do you know that you are actually going to start? You can start eating your food. Let's say this food is served to you. You notice that the host or the hostess picks up his food. It's time. Sometimes the way they will just say, "Oh, come, please, let's all begin," and that's where you just feel free that and slurp away. Yes. No slurping, yeah. No slurping. Okay. So generally the soup will be served on a plate. So the server comes in. If you're seated this way, the server comes in from the right. It just makes more sense, right? Okay. So put it down. When you're done, generally what you do, you take the spoon and you put it on the dish. Prepare the dish, and the server will take it away as well. I suppose it really depends on the restaurant, whether they take it away from the left or what. But anyway, you're not the server, you're going to be the one eating, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay? So then usually when it comes with the soup, sometimes they come with a bread roll, right? Those Western restaurants are really nice bread rolls. Buttered bread rolls. Okay, so now on that top, let me just go back. Can you see that plate there with the little button knife? Okay, so that particular knife is nothing sharp like this. In fact, oh yes, I've got one here. It looks like this. It looks like one bong's, what do you call that? Is that, okay. Yeah, then be careful. So basically what happens, you have got a bread plate with a bread knife, and some places will actually serve you a little small bowl of butter, alright? Some places will. But there are other places where they may be not so formal. They just put maybe 3 or 4 across down the length of the table. So what you do is you just ask for, would you pass me the butter, please? So you just take what you need, what you think you need for the entire roll. Not pick and give up. Okay? Put that, oh, can I have it again? So you take what is enough for that entire roll, put it on your plate first. So how do you eat the bread roll is you actually break it with your hand. So there's no, even though that looks like a bread knife. Okay, so you break it. Okay, usually break off a bit, take that bit of butter, or take a bit of butter from the plate you've already gotten enough, apply it. Then you eat it, that piece. Next, you're going to go back for that roll again because it's so nice and warm and buttery. So you get another piece, you break off again. Rather than doing this, okay, yeah. So you break off the entire thing there. That's like feeding a baby. Okay, so you are actually just, the proper way is to break off what you need to eat for the next, your next morsel. So the same thing goes with actually cutting out a piece of steak or fish or whatever that you are going to be served as the main dish. You don't just kind of go, yeah, I'm very organized. This piece of steak, I'm going to go, I'm going to cut it all up, and then I'm going to enjoy myself. No, you don't. You cut what you need for the next. So it's always this. You get what I'm saying? All right? So it's not just cutting everything up well, actually, that's where it goes.
So they're not supposed to take the whole roll and just...
No. But again, we're Malaysians. We're cool about that. Yeah. You know why? Because I also feel that there has to be something of ease with the way of something that we are unnatural. But of course, when you are in a place where you're attending a conference or you're attending you're in a foreign or unfamiliar place, you want to first test the water. You want to see what others are doing. And start proper first before you kind of let your hair down. Yeah. So I feel that it is being at ease with ourselves and being real to the people around you too. Because seriously,
when you are very proper, you create distance. People are going, she seems to be doing the right thing, and I am not. Is this what the image we want to give? Okay, so I think sometimes you want to be, we will consider all these factors as well. Okay, all right. So how do we hold our knife and fork? This is a very sharp one. This is your steak knife. So it's always like this. Okay, all right. It's like this. You can see it, yeah. All right. So when you want to cut a piece of food, I got the picture, but I forgot to paste this in. So you imagine that there is a nice piece of steak up here. So I'm going like this. So this is the big piece that's left on the plate. You cut the portion that you need here, okay? You don't start here. You don't do that here. So you start from here because it's nearest to you. That's the nearest to you. And you cut a small enough piece that can fit into your mouth, and you can chew very easily and quickly swallow when your neighbor talks to you. So sometimes, and that's where we have good cut of meat or not so good cut of meat. So sometimes, okay, so you can tell already by the time you're cutting that piece. So go easy. So, as you're cutting up, putting in your mouth, chew and you don't do. So no allowed chewing and no open mouths. Okay? So I think that's quite clear. Again, we do not cut up the entire thing in small pieces first. Then you start enjoying. It's always cutting what you need to eat for your next meal.
What about left-handed?
Left-handed people, it's the same. Actually, you can train yourself, but I don't think it really matters. How many of you are left-handed people here and you have trouble with cutting and all that? Do you have problems with scissors? I heard that scissors, you do need special scissors for left-handed people. But my left-handed friends and my sister, she's learned how to use.
So you still hold like that for left-handed?
Yeah.
Or you don't reverse the other way around?
Well, I think it really depends on the person. It really depends on the person. Chinese parents say no reverse. I mean, right or left hand also, they might just change. So, okay, so the next thing is, sometimes we need to go to the bathroom or whatever. So how do you actually put your knife, and you're worried that the waiter is going to come and take away whatever food that is left there? To be very frank with you, I don't think that a lot of our servers or our waiters really care how you put the fork and knife. They'll just take it away. Okay? But I think proper etiquette, especially in Western countries where they're used to this sort of thing, is that you need to be rather clear about it. So you have the American way and the continental way. Continental meaning more European, right? So for the Americans, they will cut. Okay, after cutting, they will put the knife at the top of the plate, like that one there. Okay, blade inwards, yeah? Yeah, pointing at yourself. Don't point at the people. Okay, so put it towards yourself. And in case you need to go to the bathroom or something, you actually put the fork in that position, and you've got your serviette, you put it on the seat. Here we say, so believe. We don't want to do that because in our mind is that this is actually used to. Okay, alright. So the idea, but okay, that is actually used primarily to catch any drops of food or whatever, so that you don't soil your clothing. Okay. So what happens is that if I want to go to the washroom, so I'll just put my fork and knife in that position. That this is the American style. But most of us here, we are following the continental style. So you put it in this manner. Okay? You put it in this manner. And the tine of the fork, these little things, these sharp things are called tines. They are pointed downward because this is potentially a weapon. So this is like, okay, peace, man, peace, waiting. So it's there. All right. Okay, right. So when you are finished with your food, you put it at the 10-20 position. Is that what you call that? 10-20 lah? Yeah, 10-20 position. In some places, they actually put it right to the front. But I guess once it's put together in this manner, it should be clear enough. It's only when you finish your meal that you put this up at the table. Otherwise, each time when you walk out to the bathroom, you supposedly leave it here. All right?
Not over the top of the chair.
No, not on the chair, not here either, and not resting it under your plate either. Yeah, but that's a proper way. That's the proper way. But again, you see, we have a lot of rules here. And in fact, the thing is that if we are being very, very strict about all these rules, and our servers, the waiters, are not, you come back, your food is gone anyway. Your plate's gone, your service is gone, and your seat is gone. Sometimes. Especially if you're going to a hotel, you're staying in a hotel, and then there's hotel free breakfast in the morning. Okay, everyone's so busy, everyone's coming in. So you might actually be people are waiting for your seat. So I advise you to have somebody drop your seat for you. Yeah. Okay? So that is to show that you have finished your meal, right? Should be the time of the fork should be downward here. And if you want to go to the washroom and you're going to return, that's how you leave it. Right? So far, so good? Okay?
What about how you put your nappy? The napkin. I mean, some people put it around the neck.
No, it's always here on your lap. So when you sit down in a formal restaurant, the waiter immediately comes, put on your lap straight away, right? So you pretty much don't need to do that. But over here we help ourselves already. Yes. Here, I think that is actually, to me, I feel that that's actually quite an informal way of doing it. And you will seldom find people doing that, and unless they are like, go. Right, probably he's got a tongue here. But in situations where everyone needs a bib, they will give you one. Have you seen in restaurants where they sell ribs and all that? They actually give you a bib you wear. That is specially for that purpose. So I don't think actually the napkin is meant to do that at all. And while we're on the napkins, we don't wipe. Yeah, it's not for wiping off. In fact, it's not meant to really be used for your face. but we do use it. And if you do need to use it to dab off a bit of soup or something, it's always dabbing. Notice? It's dabbing. So yeah, your lipstick will come off.
What about if you need to split a bowl?
Oh, what happens if you need to split a bowl? All right, is the bowl stuck in your teeth? Stuck in your teeth, front teeth?
Whichever teeth.
Yes, look for a dentist. Okay, well basically, if it is in a very awkward situation where you just can't get it out, and you've been trying for the past 5 minutes, sitting there, and you've been never talk to anybody, all right? Excuse yourself. Well, you should excuse yourself the first 10 seconds after that happens, but excuse yourself, and you go to the bathroom and take care of it, and you can do whatever you like. Right? But in events, sometimes you have this huge chunk of tendon, right? That, it's like just refusing to, and you're not able to swallow it. So what do you do in those situations? One of the desperate ways. In fact, this is something that I saw on YouTube where they actually say you do this, pretending that you are dabbing your mouth, and you remove the offending piece of tendon and put it into the napkin and quietly put it down, and then you figure out how you want to put it into your handbag or whatever, I don't know, and take care of it under the table. And for all we know, this is exactly what is going on, because we are all about keeping up appearances. If we're really meant to be ourselves, this is not what we're doing. We'll just go, excuse me, Okay, I'm coming across as being really unrefined. I'm sorry. Okay,
The toothpick on the table, maybe they use
I did toothpicks on the table. We started actually see them actually in Western settings. But okay, in the Chinese setting also, it's really, really covering and turning away, right? It's never like a very open thing, you know. Candice, what do you think? Yeah. It's also the wrong tool to use. Yeah, right. So it's only just for, but it's true, right? If you floss a lot, that's what you're gonna have. Yeah. So do we floss or we don't floss? Floss. Oh, okay. Alright. And then things will get stuck. Okay. So now let's come to look at the different types of wine glasses. Then I've got 3 wine glasses. I've asked the hotel to lend me some of these props, but 3 aren't quite enough here. It's okay. But generally, when we go to a hotel, in our local setting, you will get this one, which is the water goblet. Because most dinners, they don't serve you any wines anyway, most of them. So if they do, here the setting will be they come with the wine and say, is there anyone who wants to come with the wine? Anyone who wants anybody? You know, they'll do that instead. So what you will see most often is actually a water goblet. And they're always placed on the right side, okay? Because the majority of the population are right-handed, okay? So it's almost all the time. So as for the placement of the wine glasses, as you saw in the first one, that actually there could be many different types there. It doesn't mean you've got to use all of them, or you've got to use it from the north, then the south, then east and west, meaning you have to drink all the alcohol that they serve. No, it's up to the individual, because they could serve you maybe 4 different types of wines. Okay? If they put that up, then it means that there are 4 options for you. But most of the time they would probably give you 2, and maybe a goblet, right? So the waiter will know what to do, and generally, I suppose if you were to say how you want to hold a wine glass is by its neck, I suppose you can do that, but it's a lot more refined than you are holding the wine glass here, or whatever. Yeah. Okay. I sip, yeah, sip, not. Okay, so different types of wine glasses here. Again, like I mentioned, the waiter will know which one to serve you each. Okay, so you don't have to really worry about it unless you are interested and you want to Google it. Okay. Now, just a general guide. Well, when it comes to wines, there are different types. You have the reds and the whites. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail about them, but some will say, okay, the whites will go with, the white meats will go better with the white wines, but then there's also the dry version and all that. I'm not a wine person, so I'm not very familiar. Again, it's a very personal thing. But if you are interested in finding out more for yourself, for example, you're going to host a Western dinner and you're going to serve wine, and what meats you're going to serve with, then you can look into that. Again, information is just available everywhere online. Yeah? Okay? Salt and pepper. Why do I bring this up? In Western dinners, especially on tables, we usually have salt and peppers. So we'll go, okay, could you pass the salt, please? When the person asks for the salt, you pass them the pepper as well, because these two come together. Okay, they come together. So we Chinese might go, I only ask for salt, right? Okay, but okay, it's like their etiquette to be passing you the entire set. And so when you're done with it, you just put it back up to the portion where it is. We call this the common ground, the common place. Okay. Now, let's say, like I mentioned earlier, you've got different dishes. You've got the salads here, you've got the mashed potato here, and you've got some greens or some other things there. And you want to get the food from that side. So you just ask, would you mind? Let's ask the person, would you mind passing me this mashed potato? Okay. So once the person passes you the dish, take from the serving spoon, not your own knife. Okay? Take from the serving spoon the amount that you need. Put back the serving spoon, don't use the serving spoon, and you put that and you pass it back. Because usually there is a designated place. They don't have a lazy Susan. You know what a lazy Susan is? The round thing at the Chinese table, the spin. Okay? So sometimes it doesn't work very well and we get a bit annoyed. So you get it. So they have a designated space for that. So you just can't say, okay, I've taken the mashed potato, now I just want to plonk in front. No, actually just politely pass it back. Okay? Right. So same thing goes with the salt and pepper. You ask to be passed to you, put it in front of you. This one is small enough to just slot in anywhere. You don't have to ask them to send it back over to the other end of the table. Okay, just a few tips. The time to begin, I've already mentioned some of them. The time to begin eating is when the host announces so, and you go, yay! Inside. Or when he or she lifts the fork to eat, or the spoon, the drink, the food. Okay? So take a portion of the butter I mentioned, put on your plate. But if they've already given you a small little bowl of butter, then that's okay. You know, then it's yours. Alright? So that's where you determine is this French butter or is this Australian or something. Or Italian butter, maybe? Right. So tear the bread roll into small pieces, cut only the piece of food when you are going to eat it next. Eat small bites because you don't know when you need to talk to somebody. You know, when you are actually eating somewhere, sometimes people just find that most unopportune time to talk to you. Yeah. So, okay. So in case you've got food stuck in your teeth, you can leave the table and get rid of it. Alright. Let me see. Now, if a phone call comes, in general, in a Western setting, they don't really welcome such intrusions and interruptions. So I advise that we don't actually answer any calls. But if there, let's say, is a need to do so, yeah, you don't take the call right there and then, but you actually move it, you excuse yourself. Okay, right? Be nice to service staff. And I think that's really a true reflection also of good grooming. It's not about how good you look, but it's also the manner you deal with others. Right? Conversation topics, be sensitive to the crowd around you. It could be politics, it could be, religion, it could be maybe some various dietary things that you don't agree with. Okay, and probably keep your opinion to yourself first before you get to know the person too well. Okay? And don't complain about the food, especially if it's at a place where it's commonplace like that. Yeah, because you have to show your good manners too. And at the end of it, always thank the host, of course. But it would be polite too if you have been invited and say, "Can I bring something to the party?" Usually the host say, "Oh no, that's fine, just come as you are. That's okay." And if you still wanted to, you can bring something. We will bring orange, apple, okay? But Western ones normally we can bring chocolates, or you can even offer and say, if you're close friends, what are you having for this? Okay, I contribute the dessert. Okay? If you say, "Oh, I'm making apple pie, can I bring the ice cream?" That's it. Okay? Alright? So that's the end of my etiquette part on the dining. Is there any question from anyone? Yes. Is it okay to dip the piece of bread into the soup? Yeah, that's okay. After you
with your fingers?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. But again, I just feel that it is a very it's still considered an informal thing. All right. I see. Well, in the past, Western dinners I've gone to, they're okay about that. It's how strict they are. But if you're unsure, you look at other people first. Yeah.
If you're old Chinaman?
If you're old Chinaman, we're family. Anyone else? No, you can still ask me later.